What kind of a warped, maniacal mind could be plotting such a conspiracy? Oh, that kind of a warped mind. That'd do it.
Hello and welcome once again to Monkey Madness, where I review every episode of the 60s grooviest family sitcom The Monkees in original broadcast order, before ranking them all whenever I've finished. Today I'm reviewing Mijacogeo, aka the Frodis Caper. Peter and the rest of the neighbourhood are frozen in their seats, hypnotised by a mysterious eye on their TV screen. It's up to Mickey, Mike and Davy to go down to the television studio and save the alien Frodis plant and defeat the evil wizard Glick, who plans on taking over the world. This episode is co-written and directed by Mickey Dolenz himself. He probably had the biggest career as a director after the Monkees. I think that Mike is the only other one to direct after the show, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Unlike Peter's episode, which was decent but not groundbreaking, this is one of the most experimental episodes of the whole show. This episode is the pinnacle of everything I like about late season 2 episodes. Fast-paced, meta, and full of gags. As I said in my brief history of the Monkees video, blimey, that was really 3 years ago? The second season was more avant-garde with a newfound awareness of their adult following, which is definitely reflected in this episode. It features the titular Frodis, an unfairly demonised smoky plant that makes people peaceful and giggly.
I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to lay down in the grass and be cool.
Which is exactly what you think it's supposed to be. It's named after Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, if I remember rightly. The fact that Peter is the one who is most affected by its powers is something of an in-joke too, as Peter was the biggest user out of the 4 of them. Which is really saying something considering the state that they spent this season in.
Well, all we do is teach him to talk.
How?
What did you say?
How?
There's a wonderfully low-rent feeling to all of this, especially the two-headed org, which is like something you'd see in The Mighty Boosh. It really adds to the absurdity. I really like how it's lit in the warehouse with all of the coloured lighting. As for the clothes, the black turtlenecks are cool, but Peter, as always, is bringing the colour with a psychedelic Nehru shirt. I've never decided whether or not I like Mike's red aviator glasses. What do you think? The evil wizard Glick is played by camp comedian Rip Taylor, who previously appeared in the Monkees on the Wheel as the anxious casino manager.
212 green.
The winner! It's my own game. I don't know how he makes these things up. I'm just sick.
Like all of the best villains, he really understands the assignment here. There's something wonderfully chaotic about his performance that fits the show like a glove.
My maniacally warped plan is almost complete at last.
His henchmen are played by a lot of regular Monkees bit players who are friends with the Monkees themselves, like David Pearl, David Price, Rick Klein, and Bruce Paul Barber. Klein and Price also played the two-headed org. The song during the chase scene in this episode is Zor and Zam, a song about 2 fickle kings who go to war. It isn't played elsewhere in the series, and I can see why. Not that the song isn't good, but it has a slow build, and it isn't really the kind of song that goes well with the chase romp filled with silly sight gags.
The king of Zor, he called for a war, and the king of Zam, he answered.
It's also different from the one that ended up on the album. It doesn't build up to that grandiose orchestral part at the end of the version on the Birds and the Bees and the Monkees, which I do think works better.
Nobody came.
The accompanying chase is shot in slow motion, with the shots slowly fading into one another. I think it overstays its welcome, but it's an interesting and inventive take on the classic romp. The cold open starts with a Rube Goldberg machine waking up the Monkees with Good Morning by the Beatles. I believe I'm right in thinking that this is the first time a Beatles song was used in a show that wasn't something Beatles related like the cartoon series. At least, I'm pretty sure Mickey's claimed that. Feel free to correct me in the comments, Beatlemaniacs. What I do know, though, is that he was at the recording session for this, whilst Mike was at the orchestral recording for A Day in the Life, which you can see in the accompanying music video. Fun fact, This is what actually got me into the Monkees in the first place, because I recognised him from this magazine that I had that was a compilation of Melody Maker and NME interviews from 1967, and I recognised his little swooshy hair, and I decided to check them out based on the fact that he was there. Somehow, I almost forgot to tell you that one of my favourite songs of all time is played at the end of this episode, and surprisingly, it's not a Monkees song. As you may remember, the previous 2 episodes had Monkees bringing on a friend in the music industry as a special guest. Davey brought on future whiz composer Charlie Smalls for a music lesson, whilst Mike Nesmith, played by Frank Zappa, interviewed Frank Zappa, played by Mike Nesmith. Mickey brought on Tim Buckley to sing his unreleased song, Song to the Siren.
Sail to me, let me enfold you.
For those of you who don't know, he was a folk singer who ended up experimenting with more genres in the 70s before his death in 1975, aged 28. He's also the father of musician Jeff Buckley, who similarly died young after an even shorter career in the 90s. Guys, I just feel so enchanted by this song. Yeah, I know that it's half of my username, but that's because it's one of my favourite feelings, and I think it's one of the hardest ones that a piece of art can make a disenchanted adult feel. He recorded it for his 1970 album Star Sailor, and whilst it's interesting with its experimental yet stripped down sound, for me, there's something hauntingly beautiful about this version, with the 12-string guitar and the softer vocals. It's also been covered a lot since, most famously by This Mortal Coil, but I haven't heard one that compares to this, mainly because they're covers of that album version, which I think sort of clutters the vocals with more notes, if it makes sense. I'm not very knowledgeable about music, so I'm not really sure if I'm describing it right, but I'll just play it for you.
I did all my best to smile.
I did all my best to smile.
I also like sea mythology, so the haunting lyrics are kind of my thing. Find a pier on a gloomy day, go to the end and listen to this song. Also play it at my funeral. The fact that I've just said that and the fact that I'm 27 has probably doomed me. Fingers crossed I make it through the year, guys. Oh, and the Kellogg's ad is back at the beginning. K-E-double-L-O-double-G Kellogg's best for you. Ding. All in all, this is a brilliant episode and a great one to end the season on. I understand that there are people who don't like the looser, more experimental nature of season 2, but if, like me, you prefer that, then this is the pinnacle of that style. There's lots of great moments that I'm not covering in this review, in case you somehow haven't seen it yet. And this is definitely a top tier episode, but it will be difficult to place in my top 5. And you can find out where I place it next time, where I rank the whole series. Have you seen this episode? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to tip me, you can buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi. Whilst you're there, you can also get a membership for bonus content, including seeing how I make videos just like this. If you want to see me talk about the previous episode where the Monkees get drugged and the Penguin from Batman is there for no apparent reason, then you could watch my last Monkees episode review right here. See you soon!